Oh yeah. Am I leading?
think we're live. Just give it like 2 seconds. And we're live. Yes. Or can you do your typical Monday stuff and then I can chime in? I'll talk about macro stuff and then we can pass it off to Crypto G and Tyler.
Okay.
What's the best way? Can you present?
Yeah, just give me a
There we
second.
Yeah. What is the best format here?
Do you want to start with the slides, or we just want to go right into
What do you got on the slides first?
Crypto?
Let's check it out.
Nothing. It's just a placeholder. at the
Oh.
moment.
Let me see if we're streaming. I think we're streaming. It's just not loading right now. It should be streaming. I don't know why I can't see it.
It's on YouTube as well, right?
Yeah. I think it's just not the time yet. We're gonna wait till 4.
I was gonna say you're jumping the gun here a bit.
I know. We're never this early. Normally it's like 4:05. This is what happens when I have the StreamYard control.
Right? You're messing with it, man. Come on.
Are you guys on the West Coast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am. I think Rhodes is also West Coast, right? I'm really bad.
Yeah. What is going on? I see my our label here is hiding Tyler. So we'll drop that. Excellent. So we do have some guests here today on a post-weekend chaos. It feels like every Monday we're talking about the chaos over the weekend. This one a little more chaotic than normal.
For sure.
So, really led off by the Japan Bank raising rates 0.25% from a 0%. They have been at 0 or less for all the way since 2008. And so what's happened here is this has impacted the carry trade that's been going on for themselves and others in borrowing the Japanese yen and then using that to go into risk assets, etc. But the pressure of the US dollar and the US dollar rates remaining high has had them now had to cut rates or raise rates to kind of change the market dynamics, essentially. I don't exactly know the benefit of or why they are forced to raise rates, where in a lot of cases it's a reduction in rates. But I imagine it's to bring money in off of their dollar and kind of make the market kind of move. And what's happened then is a kind of this cascading effect. And what we're really learning here is with Bitcoin and crypto in general is anything that's going on the macro is going to be just like an immediate reaction, whether that reaction is in line of what the expectations are, in line with what is reasonable or not. It tends to seem like it's a bit of an overreaction on the crypto side of things. Of course, it's crypto is an extreme risk on asset. But when you think about Bitcoin on the macro side of it, that you think, okay, well, it's a safe haven, and it isn't. It's a little bit more reactive through this cycle, and so we've experienced this pretty significant drawdown, all the way as much as 20+% when it comes to like Ethereum, and then even more on alts and meme coins, and in Bitcoin, in this 10-12% range. I haven't kind of kept track of where that percentage range is at the moment, but really a pretty dramatic drawdown into, we talked about last Monday looking at that 60,000 range, and I was looking at the CME gap and thinking, okay, that's probably something that we might come back and fill. Didn't necessarily expect this much of a pullback, but it kind of stopped right in line with where we'd want it to get to. on the 2 hour and 4 hour kind of markers with this kind of daily macro trend that we're in and the support range off of that. So there is a bit of pause to say, okay, is this the low? At the moment, you can kind of say, okay, that is, and in the spot move, this is a great entry point, or at least it was over the last, 3K range here. Still some hesitation. I mean, we're obviously in a clear downtrend at the moment. So I'm going to be really interested to kind of get everyone else's opinion on what their thoughts are, because it's a bit of hesitation, a bit of move here where you look at it and think, okay, we're in a downtrend, but we're holding this really key level support here on the kind of the daily macro, and where do we kind of pull from there? So I'm gonna take a pause. Maybe we take a moment here to let Danksy chime in, and then maybe talk a little bit further about who we have with us here, etc. Thinks he's chilling, or he's on mute and doesn't realize it.
I was on mute.
There we go. Yeah.
Crazy stuff this weekend. Japan yen trade obviously impacting the equity side, and we kind of saw that in the futures, saw that in the stocks today, equities today. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's red, it's bad. But we saw we didn't see it continuously drop today, right? There was some relief at the end of the day. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but I mean, for now, I think the bleeding has stopped, right? We're seeing what next steps are. There is the war threat, whether that's Middle East or China and Taiwan. I think Middle East is definitely front of mind right now on the war side. I was actually looking at Lockheed Martin recently. It's like 550 right now, and it was like it's just been green. That's the only green thing in the whole market, it seems like, for the last couple of weeks. But besides that, I think we're hopefully we see rate cuts on Powell in September. If not, I think it's like 80%, 85% chance people are betting on for rate cuts right now. But yeah, the yen trade, the yen carry trade is what just took out all the money, right? Took out all the money from equities, took out all the money from even money market funds. People just got to start repaying the yen back. No, it's interesting, right? Japan has always been zero negative interest rates. They've been kind of lagging in terms of the bull bear cycle compared to other developed countries. So they're usually the last person to change their monetary policy. And yeah, it's similar to 2007 in the fact that they're raising rates right now. It could be a very interesting time in the near future. Switching over a little bit, we have Crypto G and Tyler here, special guests. They reached out. More heads talking on Mondays. It's always a good time. More discussions. You guys have any thoughts about this? We can go into other things as well, but right now we're just Bitcoin. And what I really want to look at is the Bitcoin rainbow. See how that affects the recent pullback has affected the coloring and entry levels on Bitcoin rainbow. But Crypto G, Tyler, if you guys have anything you want to add.
No, for now, I agree with everything you guys are saying. And first of all, I do appreciate you guys for having us on here. I'm excited to keep doing these on the occasion. This is going to be good. Like you said, more heads, everybody sees the market a little bit differently. So, maybe we could help with people that see it a little bit differently and everything. So, do you want to pass it over to Tyler real quick? What's up? What's going on, bro?
What's up, guys? Yeah, what's up, man? Thank you for having us on, Danksy and Rotes. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, like Garrison said, I pretty much agree. The only thing I would bring up too is like in like the little bit of the past, I'm sure you guys already are aware of, like back in June of 2019 when Bitcoin really hit that all-time high. I think of around 13,800. I think it was. It retraced about 70-something%. So one thing I always bring up is kind of the mindset side of things too is, right, we're talking about all these rate cuts, potential like 2007, 2008 rehappenings. There's a lot of we had the Fidelity and all those trading platforms that were down today too. There's a little bit more to everything as well, but I like to look at the mindset kind of thing too, where, you know, if you Google what a recession is, by definition, it's motion away from an observer, right? And, you know, I'm sure a good chunk of the trading market, Web3 market, cryptocurrency market, or at least traders, they're probably looking at this like or maybe more of the outsiders are looking at it like a recession more than a retracement. If you watched Bitcoin go from 13,000 to 3K, you might be a little scared. But if you bought in at 3K, watched it go up, and it retraced back down to 3K, you're like, oh, it's just a retracement. And ultimately, kind of just that mindset side of things too, where looking the way you're looking at the market. But yeah, you guys are killing it. I think what you guys definitely, I like what you guys are covering too, because it's kind of more of the stuff that personally I don't go over as much. I probably think about it more than I cover it. So I'm definitely interested to hear more about what you guys have to say too.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely taken on this macro kind of perspective more and more. So, you know, when we get into these discussions, and I think it really leads off with kind of the founder discussions and the discussions we have on our Thursday spaces, where Boardchilla really dives into the macro on a larger scale, and it, you know, you see how, you know, it intertwines with a lot that goes on beyond of what, you know, maybe just in the crypto space. And, you know, Banksy mentioned it, the war scare and what's, you know, possibly around the corner. That's the part that we have to consider and say, okay, you know, as soon as there is any form of, so say Iran attack on Israel, then you're going to see another event. And, you know, we look back at where we saw some of those drops here way back in March, and those are big moves, and now they'll be probably sharp and quick. And I would suspect that would be kind of similar, but something like that over the next few days, which is very probable, could be something as well that's going to provide another opportunity for entry or cause further cascades. I think a lot of the liquidity has kind of been wiped out of Bitcoin, and that's the excellent part of it on the kind of the longs, and so we're likely in a good spot, but the risk of that, and then there's also the talks of rates and whether or not there's any kind of emergency rate increase there, and, you know, possibly like a 0.75% rate increase. I don't see Jerome Powell acting that fast, but, you know, he's not necessarily the last voice in everything that goes on there. So, but yeah, the macro side of it is something that I think really plays in, and something to kind of consider beyond just the technicals and all the crazy lines we can draw, and all of the different analysis we can do. You can see I have so many lines on here. I probably should have a cleaner chart up, but it's also fun to have lines. So
right, Garrison and I call that a Picasso, bro. We know what it looks. We know what it means. But
personally, we know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot of uncertainty in the market right now, which, and like you said earlier, Rotes, it's different money, it's new money, and it's kind of different this cycle. So things are, you know, reacting a little bit different, but I do like to see how that it's holding the support here pretty strong.
Yeah.
That's pretty important. I guess what I would be doing over these next couple of days is watching the micro, seeing how it tests on the upside. If we can keep pushing up, you know, pretty strong, I'd be confident to say that the bottom could be in, but there's definitely some zones of resistance on the way up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna look through at this 50K,
58K
we need range here.
We need Michael Saylor and his gang to come through with the 2 billion buy. 2 billion.
Yeah, that's coming, isn't it? Does he need approval on that still, or
yeah,
is it
he's fundraising for it? I didn't see the exact details on it, but yeah, dude, I think even what you're saying, right? The market doesn't necessarily care what we think or who we are. Like, it's always fun to speculate on these things, but like you said, bro, one person could press a button and the market could change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always the case. So, I mean, you know, if you're out there leverage trading, then you're at a far greater risk of everything going on. I think, you know, spot and you know, mid long term horizon is still the place you want to be. The short term price action is tough. It's called choppy for a reason. It's going to pull you in and out and have you chasing the cycle if you want to kind of be in there. So you got to beware. What's the thoughts on Solana? Solana, I think, it's survival. And they often say that, look to see who rebounds the quickest. Let's look to see what, survives the best. And I think Solana is really establishing itself here in the way that it hasn't reacted. Maybe everyone holding Solana is got much stronger fortitude when they're so used to trading meme coins that a little dip in Solana is nothing. So it's really positive to see, I think.
Yeah, Solana, that's pretty exciting because it's held very strong at these upper levels. It has, I mean, granted it goes from 200 to like 130, 120. That can be pretty drastic to some people, but a lot of people in crypto, that's just a normal move down. And like you said, for Solana especially, and there's a lot of adoption that has to come along with Solana soon. I know there's rumors of like Solana ETFs after ETH gets approved, ETH's already done. So, as Solana, maybe we see an ETF next year and we see it continue to go up. But again, holding at a pretty nice support level as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's a good buying opportunity, right? Solana's probably gonna be. We spoke about this last week actually too. Solana's probably be the biggest winner of this cycle. Great buying opportunity. I know the founding team at Virtually Labs bought lots this weekend and today. I mean, the rebound, the strength right now on Solana is pretty good comparatively to other cryptos. I think it's relatively the same with other buying theses right now with this drop. This is probably one of the better times to buy comparatively, even though there is a lot of fear and uncertainty. If you're dollar cost averaging, this is the perfect time, right? If you're trying to speculate in short-term trade, that's a whole different game. But I think Solana is definitely one of those longer-term holds that you can confidently put your money in right now.
Yeah.
Facts, man. One of my biggest
yeah.
regrets was not buying more Solana at like $11. About
11,
like 20, like,
yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, but that was like right when FTX collapsed and SPF being a Solana shiller. I mean, that project Solana at that point was very uncertain, right? Like seeing the price being that low as well. I think the meme coin stuff really, really helped out Solana on that end. Really, I would say meme coins contributed to 85% of the token appreciation right now, and really just drove liquidity, drove builders to build on Solana, just because it's easy to trade meme coins, right?
Totally.
Yeah, man, definitely. I think, like you said, it was a little uncertain when FTX went down and SBF and all that happened. Good old Caroline and the crew. But yeah, when it hit $8, bro, it was kind of like one of those uncertain moments. And then I was like, dude, this you kind of look at it, and like you said, I think meme coins probably really helped a lot of volume flow into there. But I think at the time too, network fees, right? Comparatively, you look at ETH at the time, network fees versus Solana. Brother, it was hard for me to say, hey, look, I want to hold that on the ETH network because, I had times where, you had $30 stuck somewhere and the gas fee was more than what you were holding in some places. So I think a lot of people might have seen the opportunity, like almost like an arbitrage opportunity of saving money on gas fees versus the ETH network. But I think, like you said, the meme coins, bro, definitely gave it a whole new view, a whole new look, and kind of revamped the life in it.
100%. There's reports over this weekend of some ETH gas fees, and I don't know if this was like an NFT transaction where like $600 when things were going wild. Like you just, it becomes cost prohibitive to use it ETH even when like time is, you're worried that ETH is collapsing and you're trying to get out at the same time, and it's not a good scenario. So ETH definitely is got a lot of benefits, but just seeing the effectiveness, the speed, and the throughput of Solana, it's such a fresh breath across crypto in general.
Facts, bro. I'm definitely bullish on Solana. I want to see it
Yeah.
really hold. There's a cool website, DeFi Llama. I'm sure you guys might have heard of it, but
Mhm.
there's a section on there with the liquidations, and I like to check that out for
Mhm.
like specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum, because with leverage trading, obviously you don't know where everybody else is getting liquidated. Where in crypto, because it's so transparent on the blockchain, you could see where majority of the market's getting liquidated. And another cool thing about this too, right? If you're big on the lending and borrowing, go look and see where these are locked up. Majority are in Maker, Aave, Compound, and that's where a majority of this ETH is locked up. But yeah, man, you can click right there. I think if you click positions, right down at the bottom in the middle. Yeah, click that, and then if you scroll down, you can see where they're getting liquidated and how much money it is. So the top one,
Mhm.
right? If ETH hits $1,100, they're getting $208 million liquidated. And you compare this to like a leverage trade, bro. When you have your own broker account and nobody else can see where you're getting liquidated. When you can see where whales are getting liquidated, kind of where they're bet on the zones on their bet where they're betting on, that's kind of something to look at too. And you can also look on here on like the Solana network. You can look at Wrap Bitcoin. You can look at a bunch of different tokens. But one thing I was looking at with Solana was a lot of the, and there's not enough information, but I was kind of looking at the areas of like right above 100, because if you look on there, a lot of those zones are like just shy of $90, not like 90. Like I have a fib zone on here from about 93 to 106, and it wicked down, almost perfectly touched that 106, which is right above majority of those liquidations. But I like to look at this sometimes, just
Mhm.
kind of like a different view, right? We're both eating a hamburger, but mine's medium well, and you might have it rare. So
Mhm.
I like to look at this sometimes, just kind of like a little bit more to add to the speculation, almost like an indicator, I guess.
Yeah, I look at the liquidation map on CoinGlass. Same thing on mobile. Look through there, and you can see those levels as they chop down on Bitcoin, etc., and where kind of those pockets of liquidity is. And quite often, if there's a good amount, that's where it's going to force down to try and hit. And so, you look for those accumulations, and that will definitely tell you the swings up and down, especially in these kind of events where it's moving and cascading pretty fast. That's where you're really going to get it to strike down to those levels that you don't necessarily suspect, and then typically a quick rebound from there too. So when you see those, like yesterday, the Bitcoin move down to, was it 49? That move was so fast, and then back straight up. I was just like, you blinked. It's like all of a sudden you're like, whoa, it's 49, and I'm watching it live, and it's still like I mentally didn't quite clue into the fact that it was at 49 when we were just sitting up at like 51, 52, and it just kind of wick kind of scenarios, right? And that's just that liquidation move to clear out, everything in that 50K range. So it's volatile, but yeah, this DeFi Llama on the liquidation side of it tells that further story. So that's excellent.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
probably
bro.
have to cache those on exchanges. It's definitely the DeFi stuff is not fast enough yet. For
Facts.
sure. Do you want to pull up the Bitcoin rainbow chart? See how that's looking. Where are we right now?
Still got a ways.
They
As
got
low
the
as
whole Roy T
38,
bib on this thing.
37.
Is this updated? I can't tell.
Yeah.
No, go. That's in July. Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
That was a couple
sorry.
days ago.
It's hard to, I can't zoom in, so it's hard to. There we go.
I like how this looks, bro. This is pretty cool. I've never seen this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I mean, basically a fire sale. I think it's always a good time to accumulate Bitcoin. You might not get the same returns as before, but it's a good buy and hold strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you look at this and you say, okay, you can play out this cycle to 2025 kind of scenario. No, it would say that the extreme upsides in the 718,000 per coin. I think we'll realistically don't believe it's going that high, but even just mid-range, 140, 200K, within reason, based on past cycles. Now, of course, one thing to keep in perspective when we get into moments like this is that we are working off of cycles, and we are working off of a pretty consistent 4-year cycle. But we've only gone through a few of these, and just because we've gone through a few of them and that they repeat every 4 years doesn't mean that it's going to repeat this time, right? There's different dynamics at play. There's ETFs, etc. So keep that in perspective, and if you're going to go all in, that's great. But make sure you go all in with what you can go all in with, because you watch something like this rainbow chart, and you watch the fact that Bitcoin's going to 200K, or it's going to 150, it's going to 160. Well, 60K seems really cheap at that point. 70K seems cheap at that point. So something to be much aware of in that respect too, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think this weekend showed that risk management is definitely the predictor of if you're going to do well, trading, investing, right? You don't want to be the guy that you don't have the capital to, or you don't have the funds secured, either this week or today, where you have to liquidate your position, right? This is the worst time to liquidate your position, and risk management plays a huge role in that.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Where do we want to go into next?
You want to do NFTs, or you want to do meme coins first? Probably NFTs.
Yep, we can dig NFTs. I don't actually know if I've got my data refresh it off of Dune here. It is 11 hours. Let's see.
Yeah, really quick
long.
before we, I guess, jump over to NFTs. One thing that I was looking at is like the complete market cap of crypto, and that's again held at a very strong level, and similar to Bitcoin. Obviously, I know the Bitcoin and the market cap chart are very similar, but if we can definitely continue to hold here, I'd like to see some movement back up. But if not, like you guys said, risk management, and like we said earlier, dollar cost averaging is always important at times like this. Yeah. But yeah, just wanted to share that about the market cap. Looking pretty good after that big move down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this 1.8 straight across from the move up in February is a good area to potentially consolidate a little bit here before we move back up. So I like that.
Yeah. All right, let's get into NFTs. I love NFTs, so I could be stuck here for the whole night.
I love the hat. So NFTs refresh, an increase in volume. You're going to expect that increase in volume.
Yeah, NFTs are, all the floor NFTs are what, like 20% cheaper now?
Yeah. I saw a wonderful tweet, not a happy tweet, but Bitcoin price, crypto goes up, NFTs go down. Crypto goes down, NFTs go down. So sometimes there tends to be a bit of and of course, again, we talk about this all the time. Floor price is not necessarily an indication of where the general holder base is. Most NFTs haven't traded in a substantial amount of time. So when the floor price drops 20%, it may only be an urgent few that are trying to get out because for whatever reason they are maybe over leveraged or just looking to move somewhere else. And so they pull that price down quick. It's not necessarily the best move. And in that instance, floor prices drop, but then they usually pick back up once things kind of settle down. And so just kind of be aware of that concept with NFTs. If you're pulling NFTs because the market is crashing, it's the least effective thing you can be doing. You want to be selling NFTs into volume. You want to be moving on NFTs in volume because they are not liquid. They're illiquid. They're beyond kind of trading into crypto or memes. And if that's kind of where you want to be trading, then yeah, sure, trade there. but NFTs are a much slower pace, much slower game, and you want to be moving into that volume when it occurs. Speaking of, we have had this increase in volume. I haven't had a chance to look at NFTs in detail. Nice Canadian long weekend here. It is extremely hot out west. Pushing that 100-degree Fahrenheit. So for us in Canada, it's cooking. So I spent the day at the water park, etc. Jumping into here, but taking through on what we normally look at, we'll cover the bases and get that analysis out. Buyer to seller ratio always looks like it's pushing towards this one. It never gets there. If it ever crosses there and consistently holds above one, I think NFTs are really backing on. But typically we're seeing more sellers to buyers all the way through, and that's fine. There will become a point where we have a lot of the sellers kind of exhausted out, and we have seen some of that consolidation across many projects here lately as well. So really excellent to see. And then we'll take a look at some of these projects as we move down and in. So blue chip index has seen a move down, holding fairly level. This is kind of a little bit delayed though when it comes to NFTs and this charting. So we'll have to see what it looks like tomorrow as it reads the kind of the floor prices from there. Doodles holding still up on the week. Again, it might be better just to look into Magic Eden on this just to kind of get more current prices. I know I was looking at Milady's that were down pretty sharp last night when I was looking at them, and I was surprised to see because they were holding that 4.95 ETH range. I think at one point yesterday they were down to about 3.6, if I'm not mistaken. So they took a bit of a move. Of course, Milady's kind of in that crypto and meme coin sector, so maybe a little bit more volatility there. Punks as well with a 21 ETH floor price at the moment. So again, a bit of a move down. If we look at this at say 7-day, you kind of see more clearly kind of some of that move. So Milady's down 23, Punk's down 12, Remilio's down 30. So some moves down. Azuki, a bit of a move up. Again, Azuki, I think Azuki, Doodles are the two that I think we're constantly watching for. Doodles, obviously, with some activations going on. Azuki kind of less is more for them in terms of the news cycle, etc. But always feels like something is just around the corner on them. But overall, I think considering the amount of move on crypto, this is a better reaction from NFTs than what we've seen in the past. So in the past, when we've seen some pretty large moves, NFTs have also reacted pretty strong with it. And really, if you're looking at projects on the side, this is your opportunity to enter some of these at a pretty good discount, considering ETH price action and ETH being down as much as it is. These are some of the lowest prices we've had in NFTs in a while in terms of USD value. And I think, this is a really good get, because as things stabilize, I believe we should be looking back at this as a really good opportunity. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I agree with you for the floor price being not a good indicator, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like real estate. 20% of the houses that are selling, or 20% that are selling, dictate the price for the 80% of houses that are not on the market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the people trying to panic and sell, and from the volatility, right? If you look at the one crazy one I saw on Blur or on Magic Eden was the wrapped CryptoPunks.
Dang, 45%, huh?
Yeah, at 50K, 20 ETH now.
Ooh.
Yeah. So people are trying to. I mean, maybe it's time to buy a CryptoPunk.
I've never seen him at. I've never
You're gonna
seen him
see it
at
in a
like.
while.
Yeah, I've never seen
So-
him at like 21 ETH before. So
They
There's
briefly pegged some kind of WETH offers on some punks in that 21 ETH range a few weeks back. But that was when ETH was strong. ETH is much weaker right now. So seeing a 51K price, I think last time when back in 23, the last kind of October, November range there, they were in that 65K range. And that was a really good opportunity entry point for them. So being at 50K, 21 ETH, it's just wild to see where they're at in that respect. A pretty large move net for them.
And there's only
A lot of
about
these are-
like 11 till it jumps back up to 26 ETH. There's only
Mhm.
2 listed at 21, then it goes straight to 23 ETH for the punks. Oh, okay. I forget about this site as well. I was looking
couple
at
here.
Yankee.
Yeah, I think it should reflect similarly
Oh, yeah,
rapid
it does actually.
versus
It is.
yeah. Or is it
Yeah,
listed the same
does
too?
it do both? Does it just
I'm on Magic Eden and it lines up perfect. Yeah, actually that
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
accurate. So perfect.
what's
Yeah.
Bored Ape at right now? Like 8?
9 something.
They've
That's not
held.
too bad.
They've actually been pretty stable. I think apes
9.1.
have been
Oh wow.
beat up enough that they really didn't move through this
One
whole
just-
They
cycle.
don't have any more to drop. That's the
One
bottom
just
line.
went for 40 ETH 2 hours ago.
Wow.
Was it like a super rare or something?
It must have been.
Blue eyes laser?
Yep. Yeah.
That's a really nice punk actually. Or sorry, it's a punk ape. It's a really nice ape.
Yeah, that is 40 ETH. Dang.
Yeah, almost no move at all. I mean, this 9 ETH range has been a really nice consolidation point for apes now for right back into, can't see here, my lower side here, but back to June. And it's held this level. And I think it's just a matter of time where apes get this kind of move and run up off of this consolidation. So excellent to see them. I'm surprised punks moved as much as they did. Given how stable they've been historically. And even in fact, they have been in a pretty good consolidation range for a bit and then have lost it here over the last couple of weeks. There was an increase of V1 punks that hit the market. I don't know if something like that's happened with general punks as well. But V1 punks took a bit of a tumble as I think 27 or so were introduced, were wrapped, were put in there and brought the price down. So something like that can occur with punks as they've been held for so long. And so it might be just an isolated to them. You can see here a recent WETH 20.4 on punks, which is just wild. 20.5 yesterday. So some pretty low gets there for punks. They become less of the narrative of, what are punks doing? Okay, that's what NFTs are doing. That's the state of NFTs. Now it's not really the case. More often than not, it's been looking at Miladies as kind of the general look to how crypto's been going, and they've been kind of almost counter trading NFTs to a bit of a degree. They've taken a tumble, but a bit of a bounce back here. And then Pudgy's also down a bit under that 910 ETH range. So a bit of a pullback. I think a lot of NFTs were kind of in these key level ranges. Once we can say that apes have held up the best, which is great on the ape side of things. I think we all liked it best when apes were the narrative and driving things over punks, and so maybe that's a really positive sign in that respect. But yeah, Miladies have lost kind of all their support here over this kind of pullback. And so they're in this kind of gap range at for ETH. Bit of a support there, I guess, which isn't too bad. So if you look across here, this 4 ETH range is held for a bit. So maybe not a bad spot for them. And if you believe in crypto memes, this is not a terrible spot for a Milady entry at all. So that's a good one to watch.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised about the Milady's drop. They were doing so well before.
Mhm.
That's a pretty significant drop. Do you think that's like the largest drawdown on NFTs right now? Let's say excluding CryptoPunks, those aren't traded very often, but on the
I was gonna say punks are the largest drawdown from this, but it looks like Milady's are kind of second in a lot of ways to what we've seen, at least among the top.
right.
Mutants didn't move too much. Azuki, like I said, kind of was up a bit. I think Doodles held. I would suspect that most are pretty well within range here. You know, at the most we see 6, 7, single digit kind of drops. All of these drops are again crazy to see. I think if we were looking at this in 2023 and something like this happened with ETH, I think you don't see the drop in NFTs, but you see maybe a bit of a rise in NFT floor prices. So I don't know if that's just the global macro and people believing that a little less in crypto in general, if they're believing that the bull run is over, given the fact that Bitcoin took this tumble. I don't know. Maybe the sentiment's lower, and that's why it's moved down a bit more. But given the fact that Bitcoin's held, I think pretty good daily levels, and as long as it does, then there's no reason to believe that we're done on the bull, right?
Agreed.
With that, everything that is kind of taken this tumble, look for where your conviction is, and your conviction should be in what's holding value through this, and enter in. If you have powder on the side, that is, of course. If you were fully invested at this point, then
Hold on tight.
hold on tight, because you got some range to move on it, right? So
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I also think the NFT space has even more uncertainty, I guess, at this moment. There's a lot of, I don't know, immaturity in the space, I guess you could say still. There's a lot of things moving around that, real partnerships like Pudgy's getting in Walmart, that's very big for the space. And then Doodles with Arizona Ice Tea, like things like that is what's going to put eyes again back on crypto.
mm-hmm.
So I think, the more partnerships we see like that, the bigger, the more the eyes will be brought to NFTs. Is
man.
Quirky's on that chart?
I can pull it up. I was taking a look at Doodles. Doodles actually looks pretty good at their current range.
It does, yeah.
This 2 ETH range is really where they've really struggled a breakout above, but they've held well enough. So they're in a good spot here. Quirky's.
Not a lot of movement, I think.
Okay. Yeah, they seem to, once they get to this level, they've kind of been at this level a few times. Seems like to go right back up. So
yeah, this has always been a good ad spot for Quirky's for the last while here. We'd have to look back.
I know they got some big things coming as well. And I'm sure you guys talk to Poppy a lot as well. So I'm looking forward to the future of them for sure.
Yeah, really since 2024, this 0.6 range has been an excellent entry point for Quirky's. And given the fact again that we're at discount ETH, this is kind of an excellent spot for them. I think Milady's was an excellent spot, but I think you're right on Quirky's being right there as well.
Yeah, no, Quirky's, I noticed when it hits like this 0.7, 0.6 range, there was 2 listed at 0.6 today. They got scooped up right away. So
that's it. They might not be at 0.6 at the moment. This is going to read off of kind of the recent sales and pick that up. So
this is
sometimes we see
Eden as well.
Yeah.
So
sometimes when we see these prices, we're not actually looking at what the current spot is. So where are they currently still listed at? 0.71, 0.72, which is still in that same exact range that we look at.
Yeah.
For them. 0.7 has been kind of that hold spot for
Throughout
the
the whole
most
bear
part. So
market, really, yeah.
yeah, it's been holding this. It gets his shuffles up to one and then back, and it's been in this range for a long period of time. Another one of those projects that continue to build and develop and create these partnerships, and will, I'm sure will surprise as things move along. And once you see these success stories of Penguins and what they've built and then being successful, Doodles
Yeah.
maybe the same and what they can build and be successful. Azuki potentially, you believe Azuki's doing something, but you just don't know. Potentially
Like
what they're
Yuga.
doing, and if they do it, Yuga as well. Yuga, I think quiet is good for them. It seems like every time they do something, it's always taken the wrong way. So
Yeah,
they can be
that's-
quiet. I think it's better for them for the most part. But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there is a lot of. Sorry, Tyler, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you brought something up earlier, Garrison, the uncertainty, and it kind of made me think, bro. Because if anybody's uncertain about NFTs specifically, it's probably me too. And I've been in the space for quite a while. So for someone to be uncertain about NFTs, especially that's been in the space for a while, I think other people who are newer to the space kind of gives a little market sentiment or maybe an idea of where their mind might be as well. But I think also on the flip side, we're also pioneers in the space, and there with being a pioneer in the space comes with many pros and cons. One of the cons is a lot of people, luckily I didn't spend a lot of money on land or metaverse yachts, all different sorts of these versions of NFTs. And the pros of it, right, we have an understanding of where it is. We got some decent entries probably on some of these projects, but then you look at some of the cons. Some of the cons might be maybe they were overvalued to begin with, and maybe that's where we're at in the price discovery in general with the whole NFT market, because there's so many routes you could take in NFT, like to make it valuable, where there's so many options. And I think to make it aware for the holders is the biggest thing, because if the holders don't know, the uncertainty's a lot bigger than just the I think like the big market sentiment of a monkey picture, right? I think if you were to ask the average Joe walking on the street, they're just going to refer to the monkey picture still. If you ask them what an NFT is. And I think until we change the average person's thought process on if you ask them what an NFT is, until they revert to it as a monkey picture, bro, I think they're going to look at it like that. And it's going to be hard for us to get other and newer holders in. But it reminds me too, right? Because there's pros to this. But it reminds me also of the commercial, Garrison, in I think it's like 1993. There's a cool commercial where like the mainstream media did like coverage on a Burger King, who was like one of the first restaurants to take credit card transactions. And they're going in there interviewing just random people in this Burger King, and they're asking like, hey, what do you think about this credit, like Burger King taking credit card transactions? And one of the ladies is like, if you need to use a credit card for a burger, like you shouldn't even be here. And like in a way she's kind of right. But everybody was giving their opinion, and only one guy was like, I'm going to use this credit card for every single purchase because I get up to 7% cash back every time I use the card. If I use this card enough, I'll be able to buy myself a truck. And that, right, we might not get a truck, but there's pros to being a pioneer in the space.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's kind of where I'm going with this is, maybe in the beginning they were undervalued, but there's more to it than just the value, I think, of these NFTs. Because, people like you guys, Danksy, Rotes, I mean, we wouldn't even be on this call together if it weren't for NFTs, which is, to me, more valuable than an NFT itself.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you nailed it there right at the last point, is that the NFTs and what they provide in terms of kind of bridging, Web 2, Web 3, and bringing, mainstream adoption into crypto is the ability that NFTs or digital ownership and asset token ownership provides, and all of the utility, like all of the applications of it are just insane, right? Like, it's a matter of time where the technology itself becomes integrated into so many more elements, and these early NFTs being part of this move. I always go back to, like, say, whether it's a concert, you could think of like say Swifties, and if they had an NFT and that gave them this special ability to unlock these elements to their shows or buy tickets early or whatever the case may be, or take it to a sports team, and this like it's just the amount that NFTs brings in, and it's inevitable on that element of the digital token becoming part of our everyday, and so that's your credit card transaction, etc. These original projects will become kind of that original collector's token, and hopefully these projects and communities continue to evolve and find their place within it, to move along with it. But I'm just so big on what NFTs can do, and I can't wait for that adoption to occur, and how that moves forward. And then the other aspect is how you talk about, or how we talked about the price discovery, and what makes sense for a reasonable element for these items, etc. And that, I think that's one of the challenges that we'll face, being part of it as an OG. But the founders and the teams and the holders can adapt to what exists here, because it is an excellent form of providing tokenized community and membership, etc., to be able to work together as a community and have an identity, and then also build as an identity. So NFTs will continue to be strong, regardless.
Yeah, bro. And you actually said something too, right? Bridging Web 2 to Web 3. It's funny because as you were talking about that, you brought up the Swifties thing, and it made me think, bro, in a way, we already have these NFTs, but we call them subscriptions. Every month you get billed to be a fan, or to and to enjoy something, right? Kind of like maybe it's Quirkies or the B3L lab, or the Bridge 3 Lab. Sorry, I probably butchered that, but there's every different NFT kind of has its value, or maybe token gated access, right? What if Comcast or Spectrum or whatever TV service, Netflix, YouTube TV, whatever you're using, what if it was just, you buy their pass once a year, and next year you get it half off, 30, whatever it is. But you ultimately, when you said that, bro, it made me think, in a way we kind of have them. They're just a crappier version called subscriptions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we roll into meme coins, and we take a look at what has held and survived, and where projects are that continue to look good. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more pain in meme coins than what we've seen in crypto and what we see in alts. And so, looking at that, I'm gonna let Danksy lead off. I know Danksy is always in the meme coin streets. What's your thoughts here?
I actually lucked out this weekend because I put a decent amount of money in Nero.
Okay, yeah.
And that's
The
been
ETH?
holding up comparatively to ETH. Like it when ETH dropped, Nero just held. So I kind of was in a safe position for this drop. If you go to market cap, and then you go to WETH instead of USD, it's like all-time highs now. So I made money based if I transfer it to Ethereum.
Got the right one? I got the right one, right?
Yeah. So go to the bar, go to
Oh, market cap.
cap, and then go change it to WETH instead of US dollar.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
So comparatively,
there's always a way to be up, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So when I traded out this morning.
This chart looks good, by the way.
Yeah, when I traded out this morning, I made 40% on this trade on just straight ETH. I'd probably say on the dollar amount, I'm probably up 10%. So, But yeah, with the 20% or 15% drop on ETH, I'm pretty happy with this situation. Just was in Nero for the weekend and kind of got lucked out there.
I mean, we talk about this range of 100 mil to 200 mil, and you can see it with Euro here when it first kind of got above, retest a 100 mil range, and then boom, straight up to 200 mil, pulled back to this 100 mil range, and then boom, almost back up to 200 mil. It's such a fast moving range between 100 mil and 200 mil on meme coins. I think it's just like this golden little range that anytime you see a token kind of get up there and challenge the above 100 mil, and I think probably something similar in the bill range, right? But this 100 mil to 200 mil range is just an excellent spot to be on any token. So really nice move there. Worked out really well with the kind of ETH slide and it holding up. So, and the fact that it held up through this, being a newer token, definitely helps. But holding up through this is excellent to see.
Yeah, I was worried about the the meme coin graph where it just goes up and then it just like you just have that like diagonal line down. I was worried about that happening. If you see from like August 2nd to like just when it turns the 5th, like before the breakout, it was kind of trying to do that, and I was like, damn, maybe I should get out soon. And then it broke through that, and it was a good time to cash out and hold my money in stable coins or ETH right now. I made like 30% on the trade, so it wasn't too sad.
Perfect.
That's a nice trade right there, bro.
Yeah, I saw it. People were calling it in different chats. People were calling it from like very early on, like in like 3 mil market cap, 5 mil market cap, and that at that point you're not selling, you're just bagging it. So got in quite kind of late, and then just made a quick scalp on Nero.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't really know. I'm not big on the meme coins, but my boy CryptoBird is. I don't know if you guys seen him on Twitter, but he actually brought this up the other day, the Nero token. I think it was, you were just Nero, whatever it is. But it's funny, bro, because there's actually a whole narrative behind the Doge and the Nero. Like the Nero's the new dog. Like I didn't know that, bro. So when he was telling me, I'm like, yo, it's actually, I'm kind of more bullish on that side of meme coins, the narrative side of meme coins, than I am like just random pop-ups.
Well, and it's when I always look at meme coins, I'm always looking at the strong established meme coins, because I find it hard to get into many of them, right? So you're right. You want to find something behind it that kind of gives it more substance and longevity, and you look for those markers when something like comes up and there's a really clear story behind it. That becomes kind of this no-brainer. One of the challenges with Nero is the fact that there was like 5 of them all at once, and it was really hard to pick what's your winner. And ETH won out here, and there is a little more friction when it comes to ETH, so maybe that's the case. Solana is a bit more jittery in the meme kind of side of things. So it did get the win on that. That was the challenge early on, was this kind of pop up, because once it was kind of established that Nero is your next Doge, it really just took off. So yeah, I agree with that kind of story.
That's pretty funny, bro. That's pretty. It's kind of reminds me of the meme where like all the Spider-Mans are pointing at each other.
Yes, that was exactly it. And I don't think ETH was there right away. I think it was a couple of Solana ones that were the early movers, and then the ETH one kind of came in afterwards. So you have to watch that, especially with something that has such a narrative. And I mean, meme coins, they're playing on the now of things too, right? So you can always get those kind of pop-up scenarios, like even Trump coins. There was 3-4 of them that were all kind of playing around there for a while, until one kind of establishes it. So there is that challenge with them, but overall, they've held up, actually not too terribly, considering when we're seeing 20+% dumps on Ethereum. That puts a little bit of panic in a lot of cases. Solana holding up and doing well obviously probably helps meme coins in general. But some of these drops aren't too wild, considering. PopCat 20% is one of the more significant ones. Looking at PopCat, and it looks like it's kind of run off this longer term trend. It did.
Oh, it dropped 60%.
Yeah, it's taken a hit.
It's at like their 400 mil
I
market
don't know.
cap. It was just at a billion like a week ago.
Yeah.
So this one got pretty hard. What about like Whiff? I don't even look at Whiff on Dextrine anymore. I have Whiff on TradingView.
Whiff's a pretty popular one, I know. I'm like Tyler. The meme coin games are too risky for me at this moment. Well, and just for where I'm at specifically.
And that's where all you have to, if you take a small allocation and you're putting it into some of your leaders, that's, like I said, that's my approach.
For sure.
There is, FG in our Discord is always coming up with the next gem and runner, and there's a lot of meme activity within the B3L Discord, and
Yeah, I
they're
need
picking
to
up
plug
winners
in there.
all the time, and they do well. But my thesis, and part and part with my age, having a family, etc. I'm on that lower or that further end of the risk curve, where I'm looking for things that are going to have a little bit more stability in them, but at the same time, there's absolutely some wild moves that can happen.
Definitely a lot of opportunity.
Right, exactly. Whiff looks a little less great. It's been in this slide really since April, and it's had some moments off and on, but I think
Is it losing that like top? Is it losing one of those? I can't believe I'm saying this, but blue chip meme coin status.
I mean, it's still over $1 billion, all right. So
Right.
even though it's down from almost $5 billion at one point, it's still over $1 billion and it's still holding. But it's been on this slide for a while. I think there's still some support and still some maybe some hold here at this current level of 1.06 1 bill range. If it loses $1 billion, it could be a little more slippery. But I think $1 billion should provide. It moved up so quick, right? So its ability to kind of move down with it is just as equal. But $1.5 billion was good for a while here. It lost that, and so it was a quick move down to $1 billion. So it's taken a tumble here. I'm gonna have to say you watch it a bit more. It's $1 billion could. I mean, if you have conviction in Whiff, sure, $1 billion is a great deal.
Are people still posting about?
It's just been on a crazy move down.
Whiff anymore? I
I
see a
feel
lot
like
of like Michi posts.
I feel like I see I don't know. Like I guess I just will call them like not crypto traders post it. Like I see it on social media a lot. Still, I feel like
it was great because it was cute. That was kind of its narrative initially. It was great because it's cute and it's just like this dog with hat. It's like awesome. But you got yourself a Nero, which is the next Doge. That's cooler, right? You got these other kind of scenarios that play out that, is it as awesome as it was, right? Mog was always its biggest contender. Mog has taken a bit of a tumble too. It did push up to that $1 billion mark. But yeah, Whiff feels like it's just not quite that story at the moment. I'm not going to write any meme coin off, but until it kind of gets a bounce off that $1 billion mark, it's a little harder to be all in on it. Nice kind of a bit of a hold here for Mog. Mog has kind of been one of those ones that have been holding and moving a little stronger than the rest. It's been one of the kind of the more strong meme coins other than the ones that have been popping up. And it's, down 13% on the 24-hour, which is, in line with Pepe. in line with a lot of the meme tokens here. 13% plus has kind of been the drop, other than a few outperforming. In fact, if you look at it, WIF has actually been one of the better ones, but it can only move down so much. So Mog doesn't look too bad here.
I have a weird thesis right now. I mean, if you look at these, if you look at Mog, if you look at Whiff, if you look at Pepe, I mean, I'd buy, I would get into Nero if you look at the charts respectively.
Nero looks strong.
It looks pretty strong right now.
Nero looks strong. The Nero chart, especially when you convert it to Weiss and look at market cap, that chart looked amazing. But no, Nero looks strong. You're not wrong. I mean, like, why challenge yourself? I mean, there's going to be potentially a little bit more volatility, but when you talk about the narrative of Nero, it's kind of stronger than almost every other one, right? Because it is the sibling to Doge. That in itself is really good. I mean, Nero, and often when we talk about these sessions, we're just looking for what ones look best. And I don't disagree with you there.
Right. And I mean, it's a lower market cap. It might be riskier. So that's the only problem.
I mean, what's the risk though on Nero? Really, right? Like, unless there's some kind of claim from, and I don't know the backstory on Nero well enough from the owners of Nero, and whether or not, they're fine with the meme coin being held and all that kind of stuff, right? But like, unless there's another Nero, I don't see a lot of risk unless people lose interest in Nero, right? And
right, but it's just, I think it's more volatile. For sure.
Yeah.
What if Black Swan event here? What if the owners of Nero, the dog, get another one to pump their own bags on a new token that they just kidding.
Does the owner of Nero's, does the owner of the Doge dog and Nero's dog even know about crypto? That's the real question.
Well, I don't know, bro. I know that the actual Doge dog RIP'd, bro. He's gone.
Right.
But I don't know.
They could just be like Instagram posters and not like
right.
That's some research for post show here, is to learn up on the backstory of Nero. But anyway, I definitely,
even better. You could just pay them to like just go DM them on Instagram and be like, I'll pay you 10K to post a dog or post a cat photo.
right?
Or like post a CA link or something.
Adopt a cat.
No, just ask them to post this link. Just be like, post this link for me. I'll give you like 50 grand.
That's so funny, bro. Like, for real, it is funny that, again, I didn't even know that it was really based off of the fact that, like, there was somebody's real life that they were kind of documenting.
It's like the celebrities where they get them to like shill a coin, like Jason Derulo or whatever.
Oof. Yep.
Or like the Hulk, even the Hulk like rug pulled people. So no one's safe.
Bro, they honestly, like, do they have no morals at the end of the day? Like, they got to know what they're doing, bro.
I don't think so.
There's been no consequences.
I really don't think
right?
so.
So without consequence, there's nothing to worry about, right?
Right. Is it really bad if there's zero consequence?
I don't even think they know what's going on. I don't think they know what's going on even as they accept the money. And then when they get like the hate comments from the Twitter, from the Web3 people, they're like, oh, something went wrong here. And
like,
then
we did something bad.
Yeah. But I mean, Nero looks strong. I mean, I think the most, I mean, if I can think about 2 times I've been the most excited about Web3, the Pepe, trading Pepe, a long time ago, relatively, and then trading Whiff. When we caught that first, those 2 run-ups, I think, I mean, Nero might be it, right? If it goes to $1 billion, that's what, 5x from here, 6x from here. So it could be the same.
So we'll be watching Nero very closely here.
Yeah, it's interesting too. A lot of these tokens, I don't know if the average person looks at it this way. There's a really cool video by Patrick Bet-David, and he says it a lot better than I will, but I'll go over it real briefly. But he talks about the doubles game and money being a game similar to basketball, right? If you know the rules, you're probably going to be better at the game. If you don't know where out of bounds is or what traveling is in basketball, you're not going to start. You're going to be on the bench.
Mhm.
And same with money, right? If you don't know taxes, if you don't know things we're going over now in trading, and you're trying to trade, you're going to bench yourself. But ultimately, is the doubles game is what I'm bringing up, because you just brought something up, Danksy, like a 6x, 5x. I don't think the average person knows if you start with $1,000 and double it 10 times compound, don't take any profit, you're at $1 million. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen a chart go over 100% on even not even just meme coins, right? We're covering meme coins right now, but just in any token in general. So I think, understanding that you need to learn the rules, and if you can play the game right inside and utilize the rules, doesn't guarantee the return, but you'll definitely at least be off the bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an excellent point. And you don't have to look for that 5x.
Yeah,
you
facts,
can,
bro.
You can take, a 20% or 30% win, just like Danksy just did, while the market crashed, mind you, and you pocket that. And if the market's on a leg up here, and we're moving from 50K back up to 60, 70K, and everything else is running with it, and we get up to that 60, 70K range, or like that high 60, 70K range, not a bad time to take profits, right? Across the market, right? And just watch for those things. Now, of course, the next 70K could be the breakout, and you just took profits and then it breaks out, but that's fine. Make sure that you're pocketing. Make sure you have a plan, I think, is at the end of the day the key element to it. Have a plan with what you're after and what your trades are, and away you go. So volatility like this doesn't necessarily catch you in the wrong place. Volatility like this is not gonna it's gonna provide pain for a lot of people, and accept that. But make sure you have a plan, and then you're in a much better spot when something like this happens. So perfect. Anything else that we want to go through and cover?
No, I think that's it for me. I mean, as we've said a couple times this call, risk management's very key, especially in times like these, and also a strong mindset. If you don't have a risk management set up and things like this are happening, you're going to be panicking. Maybe you're exiting at these high gas fees like we also talked about. Just got to be smart, patient, and read and react to the market.
Facts, bro. Yeah, I don't have anything else. You guys killed it. It was a pleasure coming on here and collabing with you guys. It was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it.
I'm sure we could sit here and chat about crypto till someone paid us to shut up, because that's probably what it would take for me. But
People will pay you to shut up.
no, bro. Unfortunately, I'm not that famous. Or fortunately, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have like another 15 minutes of this if you guys want to look at some other meme coins. I know we only did like 2 or 3. I'm back in on the Polymarket game. I just got liquidity.
Well, how about we bounce the Polymarket for a bit here?
Yeah, that would be very fun. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up my. So I have.
To the wrong site.
I have. So basically, what happened for me was I bought the U.S. was going to like get the most gold medals at 80 cents. Put a limit
I
order.
remember that one. Yeah.
At 85, and then got, I think, half of money pulled out. So I have some money to play around right now. Let me see what's looking juicy.
Where did you get that? Sorry, where did you get that one at?
80.
Okay.
it was like it fluctuates a lot just because there's not a lot of liquidity on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's at 82 right now, and it had it at 80,
Mm-hmm.
or it bought at 78, and then I sold it at 85. So I made whatever that return is, probably like 10%. And then, yeah, I'm probably looking at the war one. So like Iran military response. Um, yeah, the Middle East ones.
Seems to be a harder one to call. I personally would have thought something like this would have already, like the retaliation would have already happened. It hasn't, and it's kind of dragged out a bit. Something like this, like how do you kind of research this up? Is this like something where you're hitting up Naval's is it Naval? His Twitter Spaces or X Spaces there, and trying to see what the conversations are around this.
Bro,
or-
that guy posts fake news. I stopped following him. He posts fake
Okay.
news.
Fair,
Um,
but that might also maybe like where would you go to research on something like this, or are you just saying that you're just kind of playing with some of the momentum in
oh,
the
if I was gonna
more
get
side of things.
information, let me see. I follow Unusual Whales is really good for information.
Mhm.
If you're not following them, they're pretty good. Let me pull it up. Literally Unusual Whales posts it like 2 minutes after, or like a minute after it happens. So that's probably the best one for me at least. Yeah. Unusual Whales. Because they don't do specifically like options anymore. They do like just general news.
Yep.
Yeah, but that guy, I don't know. He just posts some clickbaity stuff. So not
What
sure.
do you think about rate cuts?
As a bet,
Mm-hmm. Right now it's 50 for the September meeting.
that's a lot, don't you think?
Feels like a lot. 50 plus is leading at 57%.
Go from 0 all year to 50.
Yeah.
That might be a good no bet.
Yeah, I think the 25% at 38% is to me seems like the move. I mean, there is also the shot of them doing an emergency move and doing 75 basis points. But if they did,
No way, 75 basis points.
right? But that's some of the stuff that I was hearing earlier today.
From who?
From like macro side kind of plays is that Japan's making this move to try and force the hand of United States to look at them making that cut. But I mean, Jerome Powell's not going to want to do it, but he could get forced beyond that because of this kind of like cascade effect of the kind of the leverage off or the carry trade. So whether that's U.S. kind of behind the scenes or whatever, that sort of stuff. I don't see it. I mean, the markets didn't seem to react too strong today. I mean, sure, a few percent down is not nothing, but it's not like the markets just puke today. So I think it's a little safer. But yeah, 50 plus percent seems strong considering where the stance has been. I don't know. The dollar's still holding strong, right? So that's also to play in it at all. So yeah, I think that's an interesting one that stands out for me. I still kind of believe that it's probably 25 and 3 cuts of 25 until we see otherwise. But it seems like this call for strong rate cuts is kind of taking shape right now.
I mean, I'm honestly deciding if I should put money on the no for 50 or the yes for 25. Probably yes for 25 is a better bet here. It's better returns. It's a better risk reward for the same thing, essentially.
Mhm.
So is this like a future? Is this like a futures play on what they're gonna do?
Yeah, you're
Essentially so,
basically
yeah.
you're basically betting. So like if you pull it up right here, if I just use Rhodes as screen, if they do 50% or more basis point decrease, and you bet yes right now, so you pay like 59 cents, you get the dollar on
Ah,
September whatever. What day is it? September 18th. So when it resolves, you get the full dollar. So you make 40 cents every 60 cents you put in, which is
But you could sell this position too if the market changes, and you can say,
Right.
okay, now they're paying 80 cents. I'm gonna sell this and get
To
out,
lock
and I
in.
don't have to worry about what they do, right? So it's
Yeah,
it's a
that's pretty
fun
cool.
it's a fun little market to play in. It's like meme coins in the sense of like how degen it is, but
I don't think
it's
it's that degen. It's pretty.
well, it's predictive markets, right? It's on you have knowledge base on it, and you're making a much more educated kind of decision on it.
all I
but
know
it's-
is this is better
fun.
than a scratch off, bro.
At least you
Right?
know what's going on. I feel like in those situations.
Right.
Yeah.
No, this is
I
pretty
thought she
cool. I've
already-
never seen this before. I like this.
Yeah, it's I know Danksy loves the poly market, and I quite enjoy going through it as well. It plays into kind of that fantasy sports and the fantasy betting side of things. It's a very similar avenue there. And I mean, you can do sports, but like if you have a knowledge or a kind of a area of interest or expertise, then you could really get in and move with this. One of the kind of more important things though is I guess liquidity will play a big part of everything on whether or not you can get in or how liquidity can move the action a bit more and things like that. So some of these niche bets aren't necessarily as great as it may look on the surface, so to speak.
Yeah. There is a Fed emergency rate cut one for 27%. If you're interested.
27%, just any type of cuts. Oops, backed up too far.
Emergency rate cut.
Yeah, I saw the 0.7 or the 75 basis point one.
No, it's right here. The second row, second column.
Okay, there's another one I think but it's probably low liquidity. This is pretty low liquidity too.
The spread's like 2 cents. So
This is a 75 basis point cut. Oh, this is new. This doesn't have any liquidity in it. But
the new
that
ones
one's
have a
not happening.
better. You can probably play the spread much better. Like there's some arbitrage opportunity if it's new. Let me take a look. UK Civil War in 2024.
There was some of that talk going on yesterday. I think even Musk had a tweet on it. Did he?
What's
Over the
happening in
weekend?
UK? Are they doing Brexit?
He
Shit, or
he
what?
said he called it inevitable or something like that,
What's
which
going
is
on in the UK?
pretty extreme. There was the 3 girls that were stabbed to death, and I think it's like a bit of an immigration kind of scenario going on there. I don't know a ton about it in the back end, but yeah, there's definitely some conflict going on and some bit of demonstrations, etc., going on. So yeah,
Don't people always get stabbed in the UK? I thought that's like their thing.
I don't know. I'm not a UK expert.
Oh, I see the memes about it for sure.
Oh,
That's
Guess
like their version.
instead of guns, they
shootings.
use knives. Okay,
Yeah.
I think knives are probably a little less dangerous than guns, so that's good.
Not when like everyone has a knife.
Fair.
I hear like London has like a big problem with stabbings, but people say the same thing about like San Francisco, and I'm still here, so I don't know.
I guess you're not hanging out with the people with knives, bro.
No, I mean like people always say that like where they don't live like is like a lot
Oh.
worse than
Yeah.
Yeah.
how it is. Like I asked the people in New York about how New York is, and they give me the same answer that like people say how San Francisco is. So
Yeah, I bet it's probably about the same everywhere.
oh, probably it can't be that much. It's all the same.
Just a different tool, bro.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, this poly market thing is sweet though. I like it. It's definitely cool. It reminds me of I think it was Michael Saylor talking about almost like a future trade with utilizing insurance though. Like so like, take the same concept but, instead of paying monthly insurance, you do like a hey, I'm not going to have an accident by January, of 2025 and you could bet on it type thing. Which
There we
would be
go.
pretty unique. You get your money back, half it back, or something like that. I don't know how it
Yeah.
would work.
I like that actually. Yeah, the predictions market is a lot of fun.
It's just the rise in speculation predictions. I think.
It's what makes trading fun.
Right. That's what I said. Yeah, I honestly do not feel like there's any significant value here. I'm really sad I missed the Kamala Harris trade or Kamala Harris bet.
Do you think that's going to swing the other way? Again?
When we talked like 2 weeks ago or something, it was at 30%.
Yeah.
And now it's at 44, which I think is more reasonable. I think it's 44, 45, 55 or 50-50 at this point. And so there's no value in here. So that's kind of why.
Yeah. You're right.
But that would have been a 50% gain trading from 30 to 45.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of sad. There's a U.S. recession in 2024. I'm not sure what this one is though. 2 consecutive.
Aren't they
quarters.
already in a recession?
It's 2 consecutive quarters. Has there been one yet? I can't tell.
I know there's been some charts that have been shared about when an indicator pops off at a certain level that it does lead to our defined recessions. So
They say that all the time though. They
Yeah,
always say it. They're
right.
always like, this is the indicator.
this is the indicator. It's a recession.
And then one time they're right, and they get like a bunch of subs on YouTube. That's how it works. Bitcoin
BTC
dipping below
Yeah.
45K.
I was just looking at that one.
That one might be the move. Will it hit 45K? What is it at now? 30 something? 50 something?
You think it's going to go below 45?
No. For
So
sure.
then
it
you're
doesn't.
only, yeah. So you bet no, 67
no.
cents for $1.
September. It's basically like 20 something days. Could be the move.
26. Yeah, it's this hold here.
It's literally this. It's gonna happen this week, or it won't happen. Basically,
I mean, 45K is just like one overreaction to Iran or Middle East conflict, right? It's not hard for it to, and then all it takes is for it to wick down and move right back up. So as much as 45K seems crazy, like that move could happen quick, and we're hours later looking at 50K again, and it's nothing in the scheme of where Bitcoin's at, right? And you could still hold this structure here, 51K, and still have hit 45K in the same side of things. So that's where like this daily looks good here, but or it doesn't look good here because we still have.
it could just
this
be a
ability-
breather. You're saying,
Yeah,
just a breather.
a breather
situation
back
right
down
now.
until we push back to 50K. So once you're at 50K, that slide to 45K becomes a little bit more probable. So as much as 45K seems crazy, I'm not. I'm not saying it's not possible.
It definitely looks like it could be potentially making
someone
like a
just bought.
small retracement off of
that-
your support or your resistance, I guess, there now.
There's a big spread on this now. I mean, someone just bought. It's at 74%. I mean, honestly, at this point, I think I'd bet. I consider putting a little bit of money on yes. That seems like where the value is. I think I think a lot of people
Yeah.
are betting no.
Like I said, one kick in there. I mean, obviously it's going to have to retrace a bit. You know, if it's within 4 or 5K, what kind of candle could we look at
it'll
for?
just be like a liquidity, like just taking out all the longs, the leveraged longs.
Is there many of those left?
I mean, you don't think people will put more in? Like they're like, oh, 50K, I'm gonna go like leverage long here.
It's true.
You don't think anyone tried to catch the knife?
There was a lot of that going on yesterday, but it would go up, down through this kind of like section here. And it was catching people quite a bit.
I mean, that's
trying
what
to-
this
trying to
move
capture it,
was,
right?
that 50K 50K candle. Like I bet it was a pretty fast move,
It was really fast.
right?
It was crazy. It was like
Did
we
it
were
twice.
there at this 52 range, and all of a sudden it was 49. I was like, how is it at 49 all of a sudden?
It happened in an hour, roughly.
Yeah, it was within that 15-minute candle. It went
Yeah.
52 down to 49, and then basically the next candle was back up to 50,
It
51.
went from 58 to 53 in like an hour. Probably
Yeah.
30 minutes. Yeah, I think
It's got a
I
bit of
think-
momentum here. I mean, it's got some resistance at this 56. We'll see this zone here, but I think go from there. Oh, we doing a prediction for this week? I know you won the last one. I don't know if I want to bet against you again here, especially after you went from the prediction was will we be above or below 45K come or not 45? What was it 65K?
65, I think.
65 come Monday. And I was the only one that said we're below. So then we're like, well, I guess we got to make sure we pick an amount. And so my amount was actually 61. But I thought, okay, well, if you guys are in the 65 range, I'm going to go a little tighter to 65. So I went 64.4. But then you
Why
came
did
in
you do
at
like
60.
60 flat or something?
What's that?
I did like something around the 60s.
You did, 60.4, 60 point whatever. And I was like, way lower. We're like, what the heck? Moments ago, you were saying above 65. Now you're saying 60.
Yeah, I got
Right.
the call from Japan. They were like, "Yo, it's not happening over here." And I'm like, "Okay, I see what's going on."
I think that 60K was gonna nail it. Right? It
Then it
looked
just
like
kept
it until
dipping, and you're like,
uh,
"Oh no."
until Japan came and then it just tanked, right? But
Yeah, I think going back to Polymarket, I think if you're gonna play it, Crypto G, Tyler, since you guys are just seeing this for the first time, it's all about value. It's all about picking the right ones and just value betting.
Yeah, pretty much like kind of like you guys were just looking at this one, really seeing, is it really going to hit 45? And it might be worth, it's like I said, this is better than like a lottery ticket to me, bro. I don't really gamble at all, but if I was going to, it would be with crypto or on a meme coin or something along those lines. I'd rather put my money in in the crypto market than I would in the scratch off market.
yeah, a 30% shot at a 3x.
Right. That's not
Ooh, I
not
got
bad,
one.
It's not
Look at this
it's
one.
not terrible.
Right.
Bitcoin above. Oh no, this is getting destroyed. Bitcoin above 65K on August 9th. There's like no liquidity on here. Though.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's no liquidity. There's also a liquidity problem for the smaller bets, and it's
Yeah.
hard.
Have you played some with low liquidity? What's your experience there?
You just gotta put in limit orders, or you're getting destroyed by the market order. What's ETH at right now? Do you know?
23, 25.
25. There's a couple
Nice move.
that are Bitcoin under 50 by Friday, and ETH under 2K by Friday.
I don't know if ETH's going much lower than what it has. Can it go much lower? Like, this is quite the move. I mean,
No, but
sitting
it's at
on-
like super low anyways. So
it's sitting on one of my long support range here.
OpenSea token in 2024.
There's got to be zero liquidity on that, no?
Yeah, 90 to 85 cents. That sounds like a free 10% or 9%, 11% return.
It's 90 cents on the no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna launch a token.
No. They're not going to do anything.
When's the last time you heard anything from OpenSea?
Nope.
When's the last time you were on OpenSea? That's the real question.
Yeah, now that Magic Eden's better for looking at everything, like it's kind of organized in a way that you can use it to look at NFTs in a better way. I know initially it wasn't great. I was using Blur for a while, but now it's just straight to Magic Eden, and that's easily the place to be.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you said that, bro. I don't think I've opened up OpenSea in quite a minute. Same
Yeah.
with Looks Rare.
Looks what? Yeah, looks
You said
rare.
Looks what?
I got a good one for you, Rotes. This is your expertise right here. Milady's flip Bored Apes in 2024. It's close, 50-50 almost.
By the end of the year, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oof.
They need
the
a double.
resilience, the resiliency we saw out of Apes and
Right.
the slide we saw out of Milady's, like I don't see it happening. But like, there's no momentum for Apes on the upside, where Milady's had momentum, right? They were pushing higher and higher. But like, do you believe Milady's can get to 10? I don't know. Milady's do everything crazy. So, 50-50
It's
is
55. It's 50 to 60.
55,
Or it's like 55 cents is the average.
55 cents to the no.
55 cents or 45 cents that Milady will flip.
Yeah, that feels right.
You really think it's like close to 50-50 then?
No, I mean, I don't think it's 50-50.
That
I
is
lean
close.
that
It's
it's not
basically
happening.
close.
But do I see the avenue of it happening? Yeah,
What
I
would
do.
Milady's
Ladies
have to
do crazy stuff.
to flip Bored Ape? That means Bored Ape will have to
They would
say
just have to
nothing.
set their minds to it.
What do you mean? If they did, then they would have already done it, right? They've been trading meme. They've been doing this like meme coin, anti NFT thesis for a while now. For like
Yeah.
8 months now.
What's the price history on that one?
Go to crypto. On top. This one we probably have the most edge in
Yeah, right.
of all bets.
It's a long-term bet, though. It's hard to do a bet that long.
There.
There it is. $59. Like just a little bit, like a couple days ago.
Right, and then they got destroyed by the things.
Yeah. Like my confidence in them doing it is a lot lower. Seeing this the way they reacted in this crash versus what apes did in the crash. 75%. That was a crazy blip, but yeah, 59
When was that?
cents.
That was when they were trading at like. I actually don't know.
I think was that just like a liquidity entry or something like that? Because that
Maybe.
doesn't make any sense to what it was doing. Because yeah, they've been in this 5.5 range. Apes 9, but they've been trending up, and they've been holding up in this like positive
But at
daily
the end, they're
trend.
just Jeters, anyways.
At the day ever, right? When shit gets rough, they just bounced.
Basically, that's what it seems like.
I mean, it's not an easy one to answer. I would say no. Gun to my head, no, it's not happening.
I think I would agree. If that happened, I'd be worried for BAYC.
I'm worried for BOIC already. They're
Yeah.
not looking hot.
Well, I guess there's only one way I could see this possible is if they continue to quote do nothing, and Milady or My Lady, however you want to say it, maybe they get a big partnership or something, but yeah, who knows?
Is there anyone in charge, Milady, at this point?
The original pump was because Elon posted it, right?
Right,
Or-
but he's
okay.
not in charge. You can't contact Elon and be like, Milady partnership,
Yo,
please.
You posted it again.
How do I
how it
set up my
happens.
melody?
Elon is in charge of Miladies.
You like,
Miladies go to 30
text him
instantly.
on Twitter and be like, "What's the Discord for Milady, please? I just got one."
Literally, bro. Like, hey, can you teach me how to stake this thing?
Is there staking for Miladies?
I don't know, bro. I just made it up. But no,
Yeah.
I agree, bro. I think unless some black swan event, and I don't even know My Lady that much, but like looking at Bored Ape, just kind of from my educational standpoint, without having the education on My Lady, I definitely would bet no against this.
No is you'd get 40% over 4 months.
Can I bet like I can only do like parts of the dollar? I can't like put like $100 in or something, like $50 and
No, you would so each share costs 50 or 60 cents.
oh, so I could buy like 1,000 shares if I wanted to, or
Right.
something. Okay.
You can buy however liquidity can provide you as many shares. And then if you have a yes share and when it gets resolved as yes, you get $1 per share. So if it's like 1
Okay.
cent, if you buy it for 1 cent, you get like, I don't know, like 10,000 X returns or something.
Right. Yeah,
'Cause you
that's
get-
crazy.
Because you get like $1 per every 1 cent you put in. So that's how it works.
I'm about to be degenning it up here next couple weeks in this thing.
I'd be
Okay.
very careful. People have a lot of intel when they bet on here.
For sure.
It's where Nancy Pelosi gets her info.
Right?
Is there one? Will Gary Gensler be fired? Well, I guess Trump says he's gonna fire him if he gets in office.
I think that might be too early. Because then what if Trump doesn't get in office?
Right.
It's like 2 conditions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking after I started to say it. Yeah, interesting. I like that site though. Polymarket.com.
Yeah. I'm going to look more into this Milady one. I think there's definitely value here.
Everybody knows Garrison's quirky, so just watch his wallet. If you see it start going down, dwindling down, we gotta save him from Polymarket.
Right?
Sorry guys, I had to liquidate.
Liquidate everything to bet.
Miladies are at 8.5 ETH. I'm getting scared. Awesome. Well, this has been fun. Can't wait
Definitely
for
great.
the next one. Thanks for getting this set up, guys, and yeah, I think we covered it well. It's definitely going to be an interesting few days as we kind of hopefully consolidate or find some level grounds here before things kind of move up. from there. But yeah, good times.
Yeah, no, appreciate you guys. Yeah, love to run this every Monday if you guys are free. Probably same setup, probably same agenda when it comes to topics. Probably macro. We didn't go over a lot of equities today. I think it's just because the craziness of the weekend. Too much to cover. But yeah, Monday we do this. This will be on YouTube. I'll send you guys the link as well. And then yeah, let's plan for next week. And thanks for guys for coming.
Let's do it. Yeah, I appreciate
do
you
it,
guys
bro.
for having us.
Awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Excellent.
Thank you guys. I know it's kind of cool. I know you guys knew Crypto G a little bit before, but I appreciate you guys inviting me as well because you guys didn't really know me before this, but I appreciate it. This was honestly a lot of fun. An hour and almost 2 hours flew by
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
My
Dang.
stomach's starting to
Yeah,
growl.
really.
I'm getting thirsty. I'm getting there. I'm getting antsy, but definitely appreciate you guys. Thank you for having us on. It was a blast, and I really look forward to doing more of these.
Excellent.
100%.
I'll see you guys. See you guys next week or from 2 weeks. But appreciate the time. Yeah. See you guys.
Ciao, guys.